Knowing they have rooms at the Blue Water Inn, but also aware that the only consecrated place in town is the church, the party decides to visit Father Lucian and ask to spend the night there. The father agrees and the party crashes at the church. In the morning, the party awakes to find that the kill switch had been delivered from Blinsky. Back at the Blue Water Inn, the party finds Rictavio, and they all retire to a private room to discuss things. The adventurers deliver the message, purple peacock feathers. Rictavio's demeanor changes and he reveals that his real name is Van Richten. He is in hiding because Straud knows him and knows of his vendetta against him. He has been hunting Straud for some time, during which he has been trying to gather sacred items in order to kill Straud and end his grip on Barovia. Van Richten informs the party that he once had a tower that served as his base, but he was driven out. It has since been taken over by Baba Lysaga and possibly others, including werewolves. Promising to join him in his quest to rid the lands of Straud, the party leaves to discuss the Wizard of Wine's shipment with the Mardikovs. In the main taproom, the adventurers inform Erwin Mardikov that they are on their way to figure out what happened to their shipments from the Wizards of Wine. Erwin mentions that he's concerned because his family owns and runs Wizards of Wine, and they haven't heard anything from them in some time. The party leaves, taking their cart and horses. They pick up their silvered weapons from Blinsky on the way out of town and head to the winery. Just outside of town, the adventurers pass a Vistani camp. Decidedly unhelpful, the Vistani jeer at the passers-by as they move on down the road. They come to a crossroads and repair a broken sign, continuing on their way to the Wizards of Wine. They pass a road that leads to what appears to be Van Richten's tower on Lake Veritok. They continue on. As they near the winery, the more observant of the party notices crows watching them from the trees. The winery looms out of the mists and vines. A light drizzle begins to fall. A sense of foreboding descends on the group as the five see no signs of life in or around the winery, only tracks of some unidentified, non-human, bipedal form. Carefully, the party pulls into the loading dock. They immediately hear leaves rustling and turn to see 40 needle blights approaching them from across the vineyard. Odessa climbs a rope hanging down from the second story of the loading dock to find an angry, babbling druid yelling at her from the beams above. Dane climbs after Odessa to the floor above, followed shortly by X, only to have the rope cut by the druid, dropping him to crash to the floor of the loading dock below. The druid hops down and runs off. As the needle blights get nearer, Rob and X climb a newly lowered rope to join their companions on the floor above. This leaves Wells to himself, who almost gets blasted in the face by needle-like thorns hurled by the needle blights, but reacts with a shield of magical energy before dashing into the winery and up a spiral staircase. Dane chases after the druid, only to find him waiting for him in a room with 2 vine blights. Dane casts his spiritual weapon and spiritual guardians and does some damage, but the druid escapes out the back door of the room. The party attacks the vine blights, who go down before heading after the druid. Dane and X find another room, and in the corner, a strange and mysterious secret door. Wells makes it to the top of the stairs and the company of his friends, the needle blights, in hot pursuit. Odessa barricades the stairwell with boxes and douses them in lantern oil. Back at the secret door, X cautiously pushes on the door with all his might. It opens, but only into the room above the loading dock, where Wells, Odessa, and Rob prepare for battle.